And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Thank you for joining us for the aviation portion of your broadcast. Let's take a look at a satellite from today. You can see we have a low pressure system spinning in the Bering Sea with a front that stretches all the way to the Alaska Peninsula. We have a separate low pressure system in the southern Gulf of Alaska, along with a little bit of stratus associated with a ridge. So for your Sunday morning, that low pressure system is not going to budge for the next several days. It's going to be slowly strengthening and causing widespread IFR conditions. Again, IFR conditions are instrument flight rules, which basically means it's challenging for a plane to fly due to low ceilings or due to cloudy conditions. So again, it's going to be a little challenging to fly on Sunday morning, especially along some of the coastal regions as that stratus associated with that front pushes inland. We also have some stratus off the coast of our Arctic coast, and that's associated with a ridge that's moving across the region. Meanwhile, as we go further south in the Gulf of Alaska, we have that low and its associated front moving across near the Panhandle, but we also have stratus associated with the building ridge that's south of Kodiak Island. So again, fairly nice conditions on Sunday morning, pretty good visibilities across much of the state, but be cautious in many of our coastal regions due to MVFR and IFR conditions. But this pattern is not going to change rapidly. So what you saw Sunday morning is what you get Sunday afternoon. The exception is that we do have thunderstorms developing due to all the warm air in the interior. So if you are going to be flying, especially across the mountains, stay up to date on the latest information just so you can avoid some of those thunderstorms. But again, widespread low clouds and low ceilings across much of the Gulf of Alaska, as well as low clouds in the Bering Sea. For your Monday morning, again, that low is going to be stubborn. So expect widespread low ceilings and low visibilities across much of the Bering, as well as in the adjacent coastal areas, some MVFR conditions as well. Same story along the Gulf of Alaska. There's going to be some residual stratus in many of the marine environments. By Monday afternoon, again, with all this warm interior air, expect some thunderstorms to develop along the mountains in the afternoon. And again, that coastal stratus is going to linger. It's going to mix out a little bit by the afternoon, so we're going to transfer from IFR to MVFR conditions in some of our coastal communities. But definitely, if you're going to be across Prince William Sound, expect some MVFR conditions on your Monday afternoon. Let's take a look at individual passes. We'll start with Anaktuvik. Again, across much of the interior for your Sunday, expect VFR conditions, but thunderstorms may develop along the mountains in the afternoon. Same story for Adigan Pass. Same stories for Lake Clark and Merrill, VFR, but thunderstorms possibly in the mountains in the afternoon hours. For Rainy Pass, similar story, VFR conditions, but thunderstorms forming in the afternoon. Same for Windy Pass, VFR, but thunderstorms developing by the afternoon hours. For Isabel Pass, VFR conditions, but expect thunderstorms by the afternoon. For Mentasta, VFR conditions, but thunderstorms developing by the afternoon. For Talhina Pass, expect VFR conditions, but thunderstorms along the mountains. Portage is going to be mostly VFR, but there might be some low stratus on the eastern edge of the pass. So watch out in the morning for possible MVFR conditions. Chilkoot and White Passes are expected to be MVFR conditions with that system moving across the Panhandle for your Sunday. Let's take a look at those freezing levels. Again, we have that ridge, so it's going to be some warm air, about 12,000 feet for freezing levels south and along the Alaska Peninsula. Meanwhile, we're looking where that low is in the Gulf of Alaska. Your freezing levels are going to be lower, closer to 8,000 feet. But generally, with this warm bubble of air, we're expecting about 12,000 feet for your freezing levels. In terms of your icing risk, it's isolated moderate and mostly associated with these systems we've been talking about. So again, in the Bering associated with that low and the frontal system associated with that, as well as that front moving across the Panhandle. Expect some icing conditions on Sunday. Take a look at your jets. We have the most prominent jet right now across the Alaska area is this 90-knot jet that's at 30,000 feet. That's from the north. That's going across the western and central Aleutians. We also have a jet going across along the Bering Sea coast. As we go into 9,000 feet, again, that jet is about 35 knots, but still very present across much of the Bristol Bay area. And the jet across the western and central Aleutians is much weaker at about 40 to 35 knots. Finally, it's 3,000 feet. Again, that jet is still prominent. It's about 35 knots, stretching from the Alaska Peninsula across much of the Kuskokwim. And we have about 30 knots across the western and central Aleutians. Because of that, we have a turbulence at considerable moderate across the Alaska Peninsula, service to 4,000 feet.